Jack Eichel's overtime goal gives VGK the win 5-4 as the Golden Knights rally from 2 goals down in Seattle last night with 8.5 minutes left to go. We recap last night's game and much more right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Of course, you need to download the app, and new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. The Golden Knights with a big come-from-behind victory last night on the road in Seattle. VGK with the win in overtime, 5-4 over the Kraken, and Jack Eichel netted the game winner with a couple of minutes left, or rather a couple gone by, I should say, in the OT period. After Oliver Bjorkstrand scored that goal, his 17th of the season for Seattle with 8.5 left, William Karlsson then answered a minute later, cuts the lead down to 1 at 4-3. And then Jonathan Marchessault, the hero, the GOAT, if you will, Marchessault madness. He pots his 37th goal with just 16.3 left to go. That sends that game into overtime. And then Jack Eichel is the hero in OT, finishes it off on the breakaway, and a big victory last night in Seattle by the Vegas Golden Knights.
The games are not going to get any easier down the stretch. I pointed out yesterday that the Golden Knights are about to face many desperate teams battling for their playoff life. And the odd place that the Golden Knights are in is they're in the final playoff position. Maybe they're wild card 7 now. I look at the standings after last night's game, but point being is all these teams that the Golden Knights are going to be facing, they're right there. The Kraken, I mean, it was the big 4-point game, technically not a 4-point game with overtime, but going into it, it's a 4-point game. The Kraken, with their game in hand, could have trailed by as little as 4 points. And I believe the Wild, with their win last night, they were trailing by 4 points to the Golden Knights overall in the standings. And now that's obviously been extended, of course,
up to 6,
given what happened. So it's a good win. Let's be clear about this. It's a really good win. I mean, the Golden Knights, they got 2 wins in a row after having such a horrendous time, basically from mid-February until Saturday's game against Detroit. So good to see the team gelling. You're seeing a lot of positive things on the lines. That obviously the Marchessault line, as we're going to call it now, the Marchessault line is doing well. You got to give William Karlsson some credit. He's a +3 last night, goal and assist, and a lot to like about, a lot not to like, but a lot to like about the game and a lot to love about the outcome.
Let's talk about Marchessault now. Contract year, as we know, he's up to $8 million a year. AAV. 37 goals, 5 goals in the last 2 games. No other Golden Knight has ever done it in the storied history of this franchise.
There was some chirping afterwards. William, they asked, or it was Ashley. I think it was Ashley in the post game. Asked William Karlsson about Marchessault chasing his Golden Knights' long-standing record of all of 7 seasons, 43-goal season back in season number 1. It seems like Marchessault might eclipse that number in the first period of Thursday's game against the Flames, the way he's playing right now.
And the way the Flames are playing right now too.
Also
not pretty. Nor was it a clean game by VGK. A lot of turnovers, very sloppy again. And here's something that is concerning to me, Chris. It was another 3-goal period that they gave up to the opposition by VGK. And we just go back, right? The 3 goals against CBJ, the 4 goals that were scored by the Sabres. These are not playoff teams. These are not even playoff teams. And so that has to be alarming for the Vegas Golden Knights. The teams are scoring multiple goals in the third period when the game matters most. And these aren't teams that are in the hunt right now.
The reason that it's less alarming is because this is a different Golden Knights team right now. Different in the fact that Eichel is now getting back to form after missing so much time. Same can be said about Shea Theodore. Pavel Dorofeev, all of a sudden he comes back and the Golden Knights got 4 out of possible 4 points. Who would have thought? You got the new players in Hannafin, Mantha, although Mantha still seems kind of lost out there. I think they're going to keep working with him, find the right line for Mantha to fit in. He'll be fine. Of course, Hurdle will be joining the fray probably sometime, I would say late March, early April. So yes, everything you just said is alarming, and the fact that these are non-playoff teams. Detroit gets back in the game after a multiple goal deficit as well. So there are concerns, and my concerns about this game, the puck management I thought was better. It wasn't great, but it was much better than it had been. But the 3 goals that the Kraken got in the third period, they were almost immediately after faceoffs, where the Golden Knights are simply passengers watching the puck. It starts with Stevenson. He wins a faceoff. He does exactly what he's supposed to in the defensive zone, and the Golden Knights are just all kind of standing there. And the last 2 goals were the same thing. One ends up being a result of a breakaway, just kind of a seeing eye situation. All of a sudden, next thing you know, and Aiden Hill, he was so deep in his net on that breakaway, by the way. Watch the replay on that one. Aiden's also beaten almost clean on the glove side again. So there's some concerns, certainly. But at the end of the day, this is far from, and I'll go more on this in the second segment, but Cassidy himself says this so many times. The Golden Knights are very far from a perfect team. I'll double down and call it an imperfect perfection.
VGK with just its second 6-on-5 goal of the season. Seattle just couldn't clear the puck, and that opportunity for Marchessault, Eichel with the nice save there, and then to Stevenson, and then to Marchessault for the finish there at the end of regulation. And to me, again, when you talk about faceoffs, so how does Carlson get an assist on a broken stick play?
It's the last one to touch it.
Oh, my goodness. Did he touch it? I don't even know.
He touched it. He touched it.
I'll give you that.
He won the face. Let's talk about Dorofeev for a second. I'll pat myself on. Yeah, I'll pat myself on the back.
I know.
I have an analogy. My analogy, I'm going to pat my back on.
Okay.
So you're buried in the rough on the golf course, a place me and Tony are very commonly in. You're buried in the rough. You're like in the one set of trees that the golf course actually has in Vegas.
Don't you tee off in the rough? No.
What's that?
Don't you tee off in the rough?
Usually it feels like it.
Yeah.
Only if I'm at that course that's on that's on Las Vegas Boulevard. That whole course is rough. No, so going back to my analogy, you're in the rough, right? You're in the bark chips. You're in the bark chips. You can't bring like a loft wedge out or like a pitching wedge because it's going to go straight up into the air and hit the trees. You're still like 110, 120 yards out. You need some distance. So you take out your 4-iron and you punch it. You don't follow through. You want the ball to go no more than like 3 feet off the ground and just kind of bounce and roll up there. That was the Dorofeev release yesterday. He doesn't even follow through on it. It was so quick, so fun to watch. And I do wonder where this team would have been if it wasn't for the injury that he suffered at the elbow of Jacob Trouba back in January. I think the Golden Knights would be in so much of a better spot if Dorofeev, even if it just would have been 4 more points right now, 4 or 6 more points right now, all of a sudden we're back to talking about the Golden Knights simply trailing the Canucks by like 8 points in the standings instead of 14. So, Dorofeev, he might be last year I called Phil Kessel the unsung hero of the Stanley Cup winning team. Dorofeev might get that nod should the Golden Knights work out their many kinks and get back to it.
Yeah, and you talked about Carlson. He talked about Marchessault last night. That was kind of funny. And he said, the guy's hot. I've never seen him hotter. And so let's see how far this goes with Marchessault. And it puts, again, his hot stick puts VGK in a really difficult predicament right? How are they going to sign him? How much is he going to go for? If I'm Marchessault, I definitely would try to test the market now. I mean, that's business. That's good business for sure.
Go
No,
for the bag, definitely. He should go for the bag, whether it's in Vegas. I mean, I'm hearing numbers of like 5 million was talked about at some point with him, and
no way.
maybe
And
that.
I said,
Well,
no
no,
way. And
maybe it
now I think
was
he's up to 8.
6 months ago. It might have been talked about.
Yeah. That's good for
I
him. Then
mean,
if he's held out here and they played silly games, they could have extended him early on. Truly at 5,
maybe. I mean, I
6,
don't know. A
five and a
lot
half,
hasn't been even come out there, but if they can
just $1
settle
more
like
than Carlson, they could have
just a
extended
dollar
him.
more, I like that. If they can settle anything with a set with 7 million AAV, I think that would be good on both sides. But Marchessault, I think outside of Vegas or even in Vegas now, that 8 might not be that much of a stretch. I mean, he might get like 2 times 8s or with someone else, and then hopefully he does well enough to get another big contract after that. But 3 times 7 really needs to be the target, or even if he needs that 4th year now, fine, whatever. 3 times 7, 4 times 7.
Okay. Bruce Cassidy, after the game, said he did not like the start of the third period, said the team was not ready.
Of course not. They were
And
terrible.
he also says, though, that the team, this win gives them confidence. And he wasn't over the moon about the performance. Let's set that record straight. And
No,
coming
he
up
was good.
next,
He
yeah,
was good.
we'll say, are they turning the corner, the VGK, or is this fool's gold? Stay with us as we return here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Passion, drive, and patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy. It also is what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything that you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers to roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and much, much more. Whether you are into speed, whether you are into power or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you will always find exactly what you are looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every single time, or you get your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you are burning rubber and not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights, this edition. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We appreciate that. We appreciate our everydayers. And make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Locked On Golden Knights. Fridays, we have WTF. Saturday is reserved for the YouTube exclusive with Chris and Chris Golick Jr., that superstar who's not been, where's he been, man? He's MIA. Is he on spring break, or like he's not
He's
been
on
doing
spring
big?
break. Oh, yeah, he's on
Oh, he
spring
is.
break. I'd love to get him on with us maybe for a little bit, but with
Oh
our
my goodness.
some of the sponsors might be kind of tough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we also have to congratulate the UNLV Rebel hockey team losing in the national final 3-0 last night. Tough break. Adrian beat them. Adrian College. Um,
Those
tough.
games are so much fun. Those games they draw great crowds to City National. It's so much fun. Dominic does such a good job covering them on YouTube and everything with the call. It's so much fun, and unfortunate they couldn't get over the hump, but they're moving the right direction. And I mean, who knows, maybe 4, 5, 6 years from now they are a D1 team.
They
I mean,
need
that's
to
the
be a
ultimate
D1
goal
team.
here.
Yeah, and they're grinding, they're working hard. Congrats to the coaching staff, everyone. By the way, on March the 24th, I've invited all of them before this run, so I'm not like a front runner or anything, to come to our Vegas Thrill match. So come on out there. It's at the Dollar Loan Center on March the 24th. You're going to be out there. I know
There'll
that,
be a lot of
right?
hockey teams out there that day. My young guns will be there.
Yeah,
UNLV will be there. It'll be
how fun.
like a passing the torch type of game.
It's a lot of fun. So we appreciate that. And congratulations once again to UNLV Rebel Hockey for making it to the national championship game. Question here: is VGK back, or is the win in Seattle fool's gold? Are they turning the corner, Chris, or is this fool's gold? I would have to say, this team so sloppy still got away with a win, right, in the Emerald City last night. Puck management still iffy, still not great. Again, turnovers pretty poor if you look at it in that way. You talked about losing faceoffs. Weaker teams and non-playoff teams are pushing them to the wire. So is this a team currently? And you know what? You also have to factor in, yes, they need to build some chemistry with the new pieces, the players that come in and out. Eichel finally starting to get his groove back. Jack Eichel is back, they say on the headlines. But is this a team now that we believe in, or is this fool's gold because they are beating some of the lower echelon teams?
I want to be clear on one thing. This is my segment. When I say my segment, on our napkin that me and Tony
on the
use
napkin you sent out last night, and I'm trying to play along. Was that okay to lead you into that?
No. That was great the way you did that. But
okay.
What I'm saying is Tony gets a lot of crap for being the negative one and all of that.
You're the positive guy in this podcast. You are the fan.
Right. No, I want to be clear. I'm the one who brought this concern up right now.
Sorry to rub off on you.
There you go. Just like I said in the first segment, to be absolutely clear, there's different factors right now with the new personnel, with the old personnel getting healthy and coming back. It looks like William Carrier. There you go. That pisses people off when we keep saying that. So I'll jump on that train now. When Carrier comes back on Thursday, that's going to be another new face coming back into the lineup. That's going to, change some things for a moment or two. Cotter going to get scratched. Anyway, moving on. That's a segment for tomorrow, I guess. Moving on, though. Are the Golden Knights turning a corner? The answer is no. Is it fool's gold? If my only choices are they turning the corner or is it fool's gold? I'll say it's fool's gold. Now we can go a little bit deeper into that. Things are certainly getting better. You're seeing pockets of pretty good hockey, starting with about the first, 30, 33, 34, 35 minutes against the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday night. Golden Knights dominated a large portion of that game, almost outshooting the Red Wings by a ratio of 3-1, but they couldn't put them away. Eventually, the game gets tied in the third. Some craziness ensues, but the Golden Knights end up Jonathan Marchessault again. Where would this team be without Marchessault right now? But Marchessault hat trick, and the Golden Knights escape that game with 2 points. Game against Seattle, it felt good, but Seattle was there just kind of hanging out, right? But all of a sudden, the quick turn, and the Golden Knights, like their puck management was better. But again, passengers after faceoffs. And I really wonder if that was something in the scheming, something that the Kraken saw on game film where the Golden Knights just kind of stand around after faceoffs and then the Kraken were opportunistic. I don't know. That would have been an interesting conversation with Cracknell. I think that's how you say his last name. The coach of the Kraken's coach name is Cracknell.
No, it's Haskell. Isn't it?
Haskell. Dang it, Haskell. Oh, Cracknell. That's the HSK player.
Yeah.
I'm getting my cracks mixed up.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to everything. So long story longer here, the Golden Knights are going in the right direction. But just like you said, Tony, the Golden Knights basically, for lack of a better term, needed to empty the clip against 2 non-playoff teams to barely beat both of them. There was some magic in the Kraken game. Let's be clear about this. There was some of that magic from last season and the playoffs where it seems like, oh, Lord, you can't wait to see how Cassidy's going to react. And then Marchessault madness happens, and all of a sudden Pietrangelo hits Eichel with an alley-oop, and, okay, the Golden Knights got their 2 points. So good things are happening right now. A lot of good things are happening. But this Golden Knights team is so far from being where they need to be. Like I said in the first segment, they're not perfect. Cassidy says this all the time. I'll take that statement to my level. I will call the Golden Knights an imperfect perfection. That'll be the name of the book should the Golden Knights win a Stanley Cup again.
I like that. Something, speaking of falling through the cracks, we failed to mention that Vegas Bjornfoot Slewfoot was picked up on waivers by Florida. We missed that one entirely last week. So that could be one of the reasons why they're not headed in the right direction.
I can't believe I didn't do a breaking news video about that.
Yeah.
So bad at this.
And then Cassidy again, just I thought, he plays kind of coy at times, but last night I thought that his post-game presser, he was more than honest. He knows that the team did not play well. They stole the 2 points. That's great, and you have to win games like that. But I felt like he had a ton of concerns. He said the things that you'll remember are the negative things. And yeah, good, we got 2 points, but the things that we really do need to clean up, we had better address, and they have to do it now. The way the scheduling, of course, falls, they play Chicago and the Ducks, I think, to close out the season. They're going to make it into the playoffs. If it comes down to the final day or 2 days, they're going to win. And now they play a team in Gary that they need to definitely just bull rush because they're fading. They're fading. And Maramonov scored a goal last night.
Oh, that's nice.
Your guy. Oh,
I like Miramonov. I like him.
But the biggest question is VGK back. We have to, again, just be real about this. Are they back 100%?
No, God, no. They're maybe 40% back at tops, and that's also a compliment to VGK with how good I think me and Tony both believe they can be. Like, let's be clear about this. This is not a poop on the Golden Knights segment. God, I love using that. Like,
I know.
Cassidy. But one thing I did find interesting. So this tells you there's a little bit of stress behind that bench right now. After the Golden Knights won that game, you saw Cassidy like have a little celebration. Most of the time when the game ends, overtime, regular, whatever it is, the coaches they might shake hands, walk right off the bench, no celebration, less than the press box. But there was some celebrating behind the bench. Cassidy, was definitely pretty amped up. Joel Ward gave Dom Ducharme a backwards chest bump and almost knocked him off the bench. So, the fact that there's that much excitement right now over beating the Seattle Kraken on March 12th in overtime, that's a little bit of a concern, but I'm also happy that they are getting excited and sharing those moments with the team. And I think this segment could take a different path if the Golden Knights, like you just said a second ago about the Gary Flames, the Golden Knights can go out there and, a 4-1, 5-1 victory. That would make me feel better, even though the Flames are in the same boat. But just go in there, like you said, bull rush them, win that game in the first period. 6-2, something crazy like that. I'll feel a lot better, especially going into the Sunday matinee against the Devils.
Yeah, that's not that great of a team either. Another team that's struggling. Why? Because the schedule's rigged. And a 6-on-5 goal for the first time since, only the second time this season, since Chandler Stevenson had the 6-on-5 goal against Ottawa earlier this season. Why do they struggle so much on the 6-on-5, the man advantage late in games?
I mean, honestly, I think that is okay. Do the Golden Knights have 6 really good players who could be on the ice in that circumstance? Yes or no?
Do they have 6 good players? Oh, great question. Yeah.
Okay. The answer is yes. They have 6 good players. That's an easy question. So then,
do they have six players now that have that chemistry? Maybe not yet, where they can play together.
That's fair, but
and then players in and out of the lineup all that time as well.
Fine, but it's a 6-on-5. Like, it's, I don't know, it's a jailbreak scenario. I look at that more as a coaching thing, honestly.
Okay. Coming up next, we have over under a number of starts for Logan Thompson. So crazy.
He's still on the team?
LT, you and I texting each other with the same topic at the same time last night about LT, especially when Aiden Hill was struggling. We'll get to that next as we return here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Stay with. Get buckets with your first bet at FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. $150 if you bet and you win on FanDuel. You can bet all of your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, with live same-game parlays, with exclusive props, and much, much more. Not only the NBA, folks, but, of course, March Madness, not March or Madness, it's coming up, and it's already begun. And visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel, it's the official sportsbook and the official sportsbook partner of the National Basketball Association. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Thank you so much. Of course, don't forget Friday's WTF. Saturdays are reserved for the Chris and Chris YouTube exclusive show, and you want to check that out. Of course, find us on the Twitter X. He is at TD Chris G. I am at Tony Dasco. I had to do that because I think it's review time for us coming up. So I want to make sure all the bases are covered. We throw the Twitter X out, just everything, so we get good grades. When will Logan Thompson play again for VGK? Has not played since March the 2nd, now 11 days ago. Prior to that, a 7-day layoff. And then, of course, but he played a little bit. He played in Ottawa and Buffalo. And then prior to that was a 23-day break. And last night, Chris texts me and says, let's talk about Logan Thompson. Will he ever play again? And I'm like, that's so funny. And I texted him like the photo of me and the screenshot of me looking up his stats and his starts. We got to stop doing this, bro. And so we put it on the napkin, and we are here for all of you. Over under on number of starts. I know there's at least one back-to-back in there. So he's got to get at least one start down the stretch here.
No, that's probably what it's going to be. I'm going to give Logan 4 starts. I'm going to go. I just mapped up the dates here. Sunday the 17th against the Devils. Tuesday the 20th at home. Oof. It's a noon game. It's early. It's an early game.
And that's here, right?
That's here. Yeah. I'm going to go the 26th against the Preds. That's the back-to-back scenario.
Day drinking, though. Yeah. A lot of day drinking going on. I would start
exactly, but it's an early game though. It's an early game. I think that's why they go with Logan. And then I'm going to go in Arizona, April the 5th, and then I'm going to go at home against the Blackhawks on the 10th. Those are the games I think.
Hang on, well, there's
4 games.
25th at St. Louis, 26th at Nashville. They play the
back-to-back. Logan's going on the second leg on that one.
The second leg in Nashville in the back-to-back.
Logan's going to go 4 starts, but let's just compare something really fast here. Aiden Hill in his last 10 starts. I got the Post-it notes out here. I got the Post-it note for this.
I saw you writing something down. That's so efficient.
Yeah, no. So Aiden Hill in his last 10 starts, he has been over a 900 save percentage just twice. Just twice. Logan Thompson in his last 10 starts. Now, his last 10 starts go back much deeper, of course, but Logan Thompson's last 10 starts, he's been over 900 5 times. Now, the concern that I have is what has Aiden Hill done recently to make him the undisputed starter of this team? What has he done?
Right.
That's the question.
You're absolutely
I know
right.
he won the cup. I know the Golden Knights want to get him back to form. And for 2 periods, Aiden Hill looked absolutely phenomenal last night. In the third period, he wasn't good.
Glove side. Holy smokes.
Glove side on that breakaway. The dude's, I mean, I'm not one to criticize goalies, but I'll take a shot here. His looked like the back of his skates were on the goal line on that breakaway goal. Like,
we saw Aiden Hill, though. I have to point this out. While he was back in the net deep, Grubauer kept coming out of net. And I think
Grubauer was attacking. He was attacking big time.
I really thought that they screwed up there, Seattle. I thought Joey Bag of Donuts DeCord should have been in net last night. I did. I thought DeCord should have been in net. He was the hotter goalie.
Grubauer in his last 5
he was
starts.
pretty hot.
He's been really good.
That's right. He was pretty good. We said he was like 5-1. That's right.
Something
we did
like
say that.
Metrics were good. Metrics really good.
Also, metrics not very good against VGK. I don't think they've been good, and DeCord shut them out.
That's also fair.
In the
that's
outdoor
fair.
game. Okay. I just wanted to point that out there.
No, that's good. I mean,
and I also wanted to point out that Bjorn Foot is gone. Bjorn Foot,
Slew
Foot.
So really
Vegas
fast,
Bjorn
just a couple
Slew Foot.
couple more things here that are important to note. Aiden Hill just appeared in his 29th regular season game, which is a career high in terms of regular season appearances. 27 last season, and then 25 and 21, 22 against the Sharks. And then he's been basically in the teens for the first, basically for 3 of his first 4 seasons when he was around the NHL. So I know you don't, load management definitely isn't the word here, but I think they need to keep Logan Thompson sharp, number one, because you don't know how Adin Hill is going to handle. I mean, if we're both booking, at least what is your number, Tony? I got 4 starts for Logan. What do you got? What's your number?
I think I had like 3. I might have had 1 on the back-to-back.
Just the back-to-back. Fair enough. So me and Tony.
Cassidy's MO is to just beat these goaltenders down, right? When Adin Hill was
Cassidy
out,
said one of the, and I know I was pissing Cassidy off when I kept asking him about it, but
it was good though.
stuff,
Good
and now it's really
question.
important.
Yes.
But early in the season, Cassidy really did spell it out and mention, if one goalie gets hot down the stretch, it could certainly impact which way they go in the playoffs. But Logan isn't getting chances. Logan is not getting chances right now. And I'm not saying Logan's better than Adin. Earlier in the season, I was certainly saying that. And obviously, I was wrong as far as the stats and everything went as the season got deeper. But I mean, comparing the 2 goalies here, let's compare their numbers right now. Logan, 35 games played, Adin, 29. Logan 17-12-5, Adin 17-8-2. Now the numbers where it's going to matter a little bit more, of course. Goals against Adin 258, Logan 287. That's a big difference. Save percentage, the most important thing that I like to look at. Logan 903 overall. Adin is a 917, but just like the Golden Knights and staying in the playoff hunt right now, Adin Hill is, maximizing he's nuking his credit card right now from being early in the season when he was like a 9-4 something for a long time. Like I said, in 8 of Adin's last 10 starts, so confusing. Adin has been south of 900 on that save percentage. So I'm not saying Adin should or shouldn't start in the playoffs, but Logan should get an opportunity to see what he can do down the stretch, push Adin a little bit. Internal competition is certainly a good thing, right, Tony? Internal competition. We've talked about that so much.
That's why they needed that veteran goaltender last year.
You're not wrong.
Larry Brossoit bailed them out. Quickie bailed them out.
They kept the team afloat. Without those 2 goalies, we're not talking about the reigning undefeated, right? Champions.
The other guy was undefeated last year. Was he 1-0 or something? Yeah,
I think 2-0. 2-0. 1-3 this year with a 901 save percentage. So
the other guy,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at least the goalies only used 3 goalies this year. Give them credit for that, I guess.
Well, just 2 for most so far of the season. Yeah.
Still got a month left. That can swell to 7 really quickly.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. I'd like to personally thank Gold Team Bad. They called me out last night. They found one of my burner accounts, which is at Tony is the Great. That wasn't. That's not mine. And in fact, I was messaging with at Tony is the Great, and he wanted me to claim that was my burner account. So we had a good little instant message there going on. Okay. Thanks to our everydayers, especially. You guys keep this show afloat. And of course, we appreciate you tuning in and making us your first listen every day, Fridays. WTF. It's always shenanigans on that day. Love all the comments. That's, I think, my favorite part of the week, other than the Chris and Chris show, which is the YouTube exclusive. And don't forget, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Locked On Golden Knights. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. I was going to say y'all, but you can't say that if you're from the hood, okay? You all should have a very good, well, I am what I am, right? A guy from Jersey should not be saying y'all.
Save it for Thursday against the Calgary Flames.
Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow with our preview of VGK versus Cal Gary. Take care.